Welcome. I'm Felicity Fletcher. I am an avid reader, a hopeful author, and a practicing witch and astrologer. And this is my weekly astrology video for the week of Sunday, April 20th through Saturday, April 26th. I am feeling a little bit better than last week, but I do still have a cough. So I will still keep it short just because I don't want to be coughing in your ear too much. So let's jump right in. So we are starting on Sunday, April 20th. 420, happy 420 to those who celebrate. I do not, but we'll still acknowledge the holiday. So we are starting with the moon moving into Aquarius. When the moon's in Aquarius, we are more open and flexible to that which is new and unusual. Things that are different are going to be popping up, and it's not as scary. When we're dealing with Aquarius, we're dealing with intellect over emotion. So when the moon is in Aquarius, we're seeing how people have intellectual reactions. We're seeing people that are taking time to react to things because they're thinking it through. They're not just reacting with their gut feeling, their heart, this is bad, this is good. They're actually taking the time to say, this may feel bad because I don't want change, but it is actually a good thing. I know for myself personally, I'm going to be having some conversations with people with this Aquarius moon. There's a lot of change going on at work for me, and I think this might be a good time to have those conversations to hopefully kind of get people to start thinking a little bit more about some things. The other thing we notice when the moon's in Aquarius is that people tend to be really focused on the idea of personal freedoms versus group ideals. So I have really noticed that when the moon's in Aquarius, we have a lot more collective action being planned. So not necessarily being done. So some of the most recent days of action that are being planned here in the United States, they haven't happened while the moon's in Aquarius, but I'm seeing them in the background being planned while the moon is in Aquarius. So this week while the moon's in Aquarius, just kind of take a look at what's coming out. Maybe there's some things that you want to join. Maybe there's some collective action. We are really going to care about that balance between personal freedom and group ideals, having a society that works for everybody. We have quite a few more things to talk about on Sunday, so let's move on. So we have some conflicting energy. We have a lot of energy happening on Sunday. It's all going to be over top of each other. So I'm going to kind of talk about each thing individually, and then we'll start working on how they all work together. So first thing is Venus is sextile Uranus. Venus is now moving forward. So this is, we're going to see a lot of repeats of aspects that we've already talked about. Now that Venus and Mercury are moving forward, they're making those same aspects. So this specific one, Venus is moving forward. It's all about fun and excitement. When Venus is sextile Uranus, there's an extra flair to life and relationships and things. And before we talked about well, why is it shiny? And here, we're not really as concerned about that. Venus is not retrograde. There's not some massive lesson for us to learn. We just need to enjoy the shiny, because everything's going to be a little bit shinier. We're going to have a lack of inhibition, so we're going to kind of be more willing to do things, just lean in, say yes. It's okay, go with it. Go with the flow, and lean into what's new. We have an amazing opportunity for a change this week, and this is one of the times that change is not going to be as scary. So especially when we're dealing with things like relationships and things that are shiny, things that have that extra flair, lean in, check out what's new, follow it, have fun, go to a new party, meet new people, do new things, have fun. The same time that is going on, Mercury is going to be sextiling Pluto. This is a time of depth and intensity. Mercury sextile Pluto does really bring with it the used car sales energy. So it's a really good time to sell, but it's also a really good time to kind of be manipulated in a way. So if you're looking to try to sell something, if you're looking to try to get someone to buy into who you are, or something that I talk a lot about right now with people, especially since I know quite a few people looking for new jobs, is selling ourselves. This is a good time to really be selling who we are. This is not a good time to be buying things that we can be manipulated by. This is not the time to be buying cars. This isn't the time to go get a new cell phone plan. This isn't the time to go buy a new TV. If you have to buy something dealing with a salesperson, don't do it during this energy. But sell yourself. Be careful not to overpower other people, but dig deep. Figure out that why. This is the time to sell yourself on your why too. What is it? What are we doing with it? And who are we? The other energy is Sun square Mars. This brings with it tests, issues with authority, anger management issues. There's a lot of buildup here. There's a lot of challenging things when Sun is square Mars. And there's a lot of things that come up that are in our face, that are pushing us, that are driving us. There are two really important things to remember in this energy. We need to be defensive of who we are. We need to be ready to defend us and our decisions. This is right there with that selling who we are. We need to have a good sense of who we are and defend that. People can't control us. People can't tell us what to believe. People are not here to overpower us because we know who we are, we know what we believe in. End of story. The other thing, this is when you're dealing with all this anger, all this buildup, all this energy, you have to do something with it. So be prepared. You need to exercise, you need to be active, you need to be doing something to get this anger out. So going into Sunday, have a plan in place. When your partner starts annoying you, be ready to go for a walk, go for a run, do a workout, do something, just go. Be ready. At work, I have the opportunity when I need it to lock up the office and walk around the property. It's me doing my job. And I can almost guarantee you on Sunday, I will be doing a little bit more of that. Because one, walking is a good way to burn off that extra energy, burn off that extra anger. On top of it, walking helps me think, and you never know what, find an exciting thing. So it's a lot of energy, and it's a lot of not necessarily conflicting energy, but it's conflicting in how we feel about it. But we need to trust ourselves on Sunday. We need to be ready to go try new things. We need to not give into that anger, not give into that energy buildup. We need to release that energy, and we need to dig deep, because who we are is something that we are going to have to defend and sell. We then get a little bit of a break until Wednesday the 23rd. The first thing is the moon's moving into Pisces. It's a dreamy energy, very up in the clouds, not grounded at all. It's a very impressionable energy. We do have to worry when the moon's in Pisces. It's very easy for us to pick up other people's ideals. It's very easy for people to convince us of their way of seeing things. And we don't really want to do that. We want to continue to defend who we are. So we have to be very careful with that. Intuition reigns. So those tough conversations that you're having on Sunday, while the moon is in Aquarius up to this point, those tough conversations that you were having to be able to get people to have an intellectual response, stop having those. Because people are no longer going to be responding with their head, they're going to be responding with their gut. It's just going to be an immediate, I feel this, end of story. So intuition can be a good thing. It's good for us to follow our intuition, but we do need to acknowledge when our intuition is leading us and when we need to also listen to our heart and our head in the process. The other thing going on Wednesday is Sun square Pluto. So Sun just squared Mars. This was a difficult energy. It brought in anger. It brought in issues. It was testing us. Sun square Pluto is right there too. We are going to be dealing with power struggles. We are going to be dealing with just a very assertive energy. The energy is assertive. It's in there. It's in your face. We're doing this. We're going. End of story. This is also going to be a very triggering energy. There's going to be things that come up on Wednesday that trigger you. There's going to be things that you forgot that your old boss used to do, and your new boss is going to do it, and it's going to anger you to no end. There's going to be a lot of manipulation going on during this time. And we have to continue to fight for our sense of self. When this triggering thing comes up, we have to fight to let it not bother us or to stand up for us. We need to stand up for who we are and what we want. We need to look into this power struggle, but we can't let it overwhelm us. This is not a time to sit back and let the energy pass. This is a time where we have to stand up for us. This is also a good time to rid ourselves of things that are no longer working in our lives. And that is part of standing up for us. When we stand up for ourselves, we stand up against the toxic things that we do to ourselves. This is the time to get rid of that which is toxic. This is the time to get rid of addictions. This is the time to get rid of negative thought processes. This is the time to remove people in your life that think in toxic ways. This is a time where we're going to be seeing people fight against racism, homophobia. We're going to see transphobia. I think we're already seeing a build up to this in the politics that is going on right now. We are having discussions about what is really going on. And if you haven't looked into it, you really should look into what's going on in the prisons in El Salvador. And I think we're going to have a lot more conversations about the racism of what is going on in American politics right now. And we're going to see that in our own lives too. We're going to see people saying things that we don't agree with and that we feel are toxic. And we're going to be peace out, I'm bye. Like, that's it. You are either on the right side of the history or you're not. That is where people are going to get on Wednesday. Then we are moving on to Thursday, the 24th. Venus will conjunct Saturn. We just dealt with this energy. It was really rough. It was rough. I lost track of how many times I cried the last time that Venus conjunct Saturn. It was just, I think, like a week and a half ago. This energy brings with it isolation, sadness, depression. It is a very difficult and tough aspect. Venus conjunct Saturn brings with it shaky ground. We are in the middle of an earthquake. The ground is shaking underneath us and we don't know what to do. And like every earthquake, it's going to end and you can assess the damage. I just had an earthquake where I live. You sit through it, you're afraid, and then you get up, you figure out where the cat is, you figure out what's going on around you, you see if anything fell off the shelves, you see if anything fell outside. We are dealing with the earthquake on Thursday. We are on shaky ground. There's going to be a lot of issues that come up, but we have to get back up and we have to evaluate afterwards. We have to continue to fight for ourselves. And yes, the earth shook, the ground was shaky underneath us. Now we have to move forward. And we are moving forward on Friday the 25th with the moon moving into Aries. This gives us more solid ground where you no longer have that Pisces moon that's floating around in the sky. We have a fresh start. We are enthusiastic, but we are also impulsive. When the moon is in Aries, we go, we do, we don't really ask questions, which can be a good thing, can be a bad thing, but we have a fresh start. We are getting out, we are checking the damage from the earthquake. And then we're gonna start moving, but before we can really get a lot of movement in, Mars will be opposite Pluto on Saturday the 26th. This intensifies our desires. It intensifies what we want to do and then challenges all of it. This is setting a high goal and then immediately having people come in and challenge you for why you can't do it. This is setting a goal to save so much money and then having your car break down, causing you to have to pay a whole bunch. This is having this big, exciting goal and then immediately having something in its way. There are a lot of conflicts. There are a lot of power struggles. There are a lot of power struggles this week, both within ourselves, within other people. And it's going to be rough, but we have to fight. Because when we lose power, we lose the ability to move forward. So right now, this week, we are fighting for that power. We are fighting for ourselves. When Mars is opposite Pluto, we have to channel our fight. We have to pick our battles. We have to choose our hills. We have to have a battle plan in place. Because if we don't, if we try to just fight, we have to plan this like a war, not a bar fight. We have to be so careful. Our relationships will be volatile. There are going to be things happening around us. Please drive very carefully this week. I think we're going to see a lot of accidents happening this week. I think we're going to see people getting in each other's faces. We are going to see road rage. We are going to see people fighting at work. We are going to be seeing people fight on a global scale. There is hope and there is change coming. The very first thing we will talk about next week is the new moon. We're ending with the moon in Aries. We're getting ready for that fresh start. We're getting ready to blaze these trails. We're getting ready to go. But before we can go, we have to fight for ourselves. We have to win the power struggles. And we have to stand up. This isn't a fun week. Not every day is going to be fun. Not every day is going to be easy. This week is going to require a lot from us. But we know what we are walking into. We have a chance to make battle plans. We have a chance to plan for this war. You are going to see people lashing out because they didn't know. You're going to see people that are going to be angry with you. You're going to be dealing with people that are going to be just screaming and yelling. They don't fully understand why they have to fight so hard right now. But we know why. We know that we are fighting for power. We know that we are fighting for a better situation for ourselves. We know we are fighting for us. And with that, I'll see you next week. Stay safe, be careful, and let's get to the next stage.